The immigration crisis continues as 2,000 kids still separated from their families. Our guest, an attorney trying to reunite 3 Guatemalan children in New York with their mother who's in Arizona. He says he's not getting any answers from the government. And we'll also look at how this will play out at the ballot box. Will immigration be a winning issue for Democrats who are trying to retake the House? Also, we are live at the East Ramapo School District's board meeting where they're considering a contingency budget. Those troubled schools already have a state monitor, already have made huge cuts, and it looks like more money could be slashed. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to RFL. I'm Richard French. Thank you for joining us tonight. We begin with another big change when it comes to immigration policy. Last week, it was President Trump doing a complete 180 and signing an executive order saying kids will no longer be taken from their parents at the border. This week, another reversal. President Trump, he's been bragging about the zero tolerance policy at the border. Now, however, border agents have been told to be more tolerant and to stop prosecuting every adult who crosses the border illegally. That means families will be released instead of split and detained. And the crisis, though, is anything but over. 2,000 kids still being held. Only about 500 have been reunited with their parents. And there is chaos and confusion about trying to connect parent and child. No coherent plan is set up to do that reunification. Also today, we are getting an inside look at what's actually happening at the border. It is pretty alarming.
Overnight, in front of cameras, a migrant father stuck in limbo, separated from his 5-year-old daughter, breaking down. He says he's begging God to be reunited with his daughter, who is in Chicago. He's in a shelter in El Paso. Some 2,000 children remain separated from their parents, dozens of them now living in this tent city in West Texas. But these images and others of kids in cages, along with reports of separations, have not reached some families still trying to enter the U.S. illegally.
We have Border Patrol just got a smugglers. That's a smuggler?
We were right there as an alleged smuggler brought in 2 families and an unaccompanied minor. Border Patrol agent Robert Rodriguez chasing the man into the Rio Grande, but he got away, paddling back to Mexico.
How do you know that was a smuggler?
Guaranteed he's a smuggler just by the way he was dressed. No shirt, wearing shorts. As soon as he saw me, he was in trail here. He ran over here, jumped in the raft, and went back south.
A quarter mile from the river, the migrant families are stopped, a look of desperation on their faces. One of the mothers tells me the reason why she left with her 12-year-old daughter.
La pobreza, la falta de empleo.
She says she has to save her daughter from the poverty and the crime. She says they are not bad people, they just need help. And then this mother, traveling with her 1-year-old named Angel. I ask Angel's mother why she would take him on this treacherous trip from Honduras all the way into southern Texas. She tells me gangs threatened to kill her baby. They already killed his father. And now, because of the president's executive order to stop separating families who cross illegally, CBP officials say some families could be let go, ordered to appear at a later court date. The CBP commissioner telling me this is not a long-term solution.
We need to end the catch and release challenge. A much better system would be to keep families together through their immigration proceedings. That's what the Obama administration did in 2014. That's what the president has asked Congress to help us do now.
So you're saying it was a mistake to separate those families?
I'm saying a better system would allow us to keep them together.
And more than 200 migrant children are being housed in Harlem. Jose Javier Orachena, he is representing 3 Guatemalan children ages 5, 8, and 10 who are being detained there. He's trying to reunite them with their mother in Arizona. Jose, thank you for the time. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Richard.
You know, in the windup to this, we heard the president basically say, I signed this great executive order. In effect, problem solved. Listen to what one lawmaker on Capitol Hill, Senator Lankford from Oklahoma, Republican, what he had to say about the kids and basically the clarity as to where they are and when they'll be reunited.
Let me clarify this. We know where every single child is. This is an issue that's gone out there somewhat in some of the other media that's not been responsible for this, with the assumption that the administration's lost track of that.
Okay, so the center, and he's not alone, they're saying, in effect, we know where everybody is, we got a handle on this, we got this thing under control. Your experience, as I said, you're representing both the three kids and their mother. Is it your experience the government actually knows where your clients are, let alone any clue as to how they're going to connect them with their parents?
Absolutely not. The government is not have a database for where all these children are. In my experience, there are 3 children, and mother has been able to speak to the children twice. When mother was told by ICE officers at Eloy, Arizona, that the children were going to be placed with a new foster family for the weekend, mom asked obvious questions. Who are these people? Where are they going? Are my children together? ICE officers could not verify any of that information.
Try and help put a face in this, Jose, because I know for a lot of people it's a number. There's either 2,300 kids, 2,400 kids, 2,000 left. Why did their mother, their family, go to the Herculean efforts to try to get to the United States? What were they leaving and what were they risking?
They were fleeing violence, hunger, and in some instances starvation. These situations that they're facing back home is dire. They come here seeking asylum, nothing less, nothing more. At this point in time, mom knew that there was a family member in the North Carolina area. Mom told the children, if we are ever separated, please ask them to call your aunt Zulema in North Carolina. The children luckily did, and luckily there was a social worker who contacted the family in North Carolina. Absent that, mom would have never known where her children ended up.
And as bad as the situation is that you've described with your clients, you've actually encountered situations even worse, where they don't even know where their kids are, forget about with whom, even what state they're in.
Absolutely. There are families that are with my client detained in Arizona in which they don't know where their children are. My client was fortunate enough that her children were of an age that they could express themselves. They could verbalize. Imagine how difficult it's going to be now to connect a nonverbal child with their mother.
Even in your situation, which you just clarified is better than even some, you described representing these children. You said, and I'm going to want to get your words right, I'm in charge of keeping track of a ghost. Talk about beyond the calls you've made, beyond the attempts to secure a court date, beyond even trying to figure out, what the charges could be looking like. Talk about just the red tape here that we're told doesn't exist that you're running into on a regular basis.
Absolutely. So at this point, mom is an adult. Anyone who is over 18 years old can be tracked through a public database. If you type into your Google search, ICE detainee search, it's going to bring you up to an ICE website. It's going to ask you for a unique number, almost akin to a social security number. You type that in, you select the country that this person is from, and it will tell you where they are currently housed, what detention facility. That system does not exist for minors because we want to protect the privacy of minors.
Literally, they could move these kids, and even though you're their recognized counsel, you might not even be notified. Is that right?
Absolutely. I've been trying to find any court system. They're not in immigration court. I know that for a fact because there's no appearance yet. And as a matter of fact, they still have them down as in Eloy, Arizona. Now, when you're dealing with children, typically you have to go to a family court. There is no such thing as family court in federal court.
Finally, Jose, for people out there who say, oh, well, there's no way around this, you've had a lot of experience with this. Have you ever seen anything as screwed up as this? And was this rolled out basically with no thought to resolution? This was a policy without a plan.
Absolutely. I remember when DACA was rolled out. Months before DACA came out, immigration gave a list. It's called a guidance. And it would tell you, in order to qualify, get these following documents ready. That is usually what happens with a major federal policy. That was not the case here. It was just rolled out from one day to another. There was no infrastructure, there was no guidance.
And do I understand this correctly, that as early as tomorrow morning, you might actually get an audience with these children?
Finally, I get a sit down with the children, I hope to confirm that the children are completely safe, physically, mentally, emotionally, and then I will relay that to mom. We're working on getting her bonded out. I think my client, Yenny Gonzalez, will be here by the weekend and reunited with her children. Now it's to get through the red tape of allowing mom to take her children down to North Carolina.
Well, we wish you the best of luck here. An amazing story, and I think even you never expected it to be this convoluted when you first started. Jose, thank you again for the time.
Thank you very much for your time, and I really do appreciate it.
And a quick programming note for you, everyone. Come this Saturday, people will be gathering for immigration protests throughout this nation and in our region. FiOS1 will be covering all of these events, locations you can see right there on your screen. All right, when we come back, I'm going to bring in my panel. We'll talk about the politics of immigration. Which side is going to be helped more by this issue come November, because this will be an election issue, the Dems or the Republicans? Our panel, they'll join me next to discuss and debate.